Welcome to Animatic TV. In today's story, we meet a humble blacksmith whose quiet life holds more meaning than he ever imagined. Through his everyday actions, he touches the lives of everyone in his village. In a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and sparkling streams, there lived a humble blacksmith named Mr. Henry. His workshop sat at the heart of the village, where the rhythmic clanging of his hammer on metal became a familiar melody. For decades, Mr. Henry had crafted tools, horseshoes, and other essentials for the villagers. Though his work was skilled and useful, he often felt that it was unremarkable, especially compared to the grand adventures of knights and the groundbreaking discoveries of scholars in distant lands. One morning, as Mr. Henry worked on a new plow for the village farmer, he noticed a young girl named Lily standing just outside the shop, watching him intently. Her eyes sparkled with fascination as she observed his strong hands skillfully shaping the metal. "Good morning, Lily," Mr. Henry greeted with a warm smile. "Would you like to see how this plow is made?" Lily's face lit up with excitement, and she eagerly nodded. Stepping inside the workshop, she stood by Mr. Henry's side as he explained how each tool he made helped the village thrive. As he worked, he told her about the strength required to shape the metal, the patience to get it just right, and the satisfaction of seeing his creations put to use. After hours of hammering, shaping, and polishing, the plow was finally complete. Mr. Henry placed it outside to cool, and as he stood beside Lily, she looked up at him and said, "Mr. Henry, you're amazing. Your work makes everything in the village better." Mr. Henry chuckled and said, "Thank you, Lily. But sometimes I wonder if my work really matters in the big picture. There are so many grand things happening in the world, and here I am, making plows and horseshoes." Lily frowned thoughtfully for a moment, then smiled. "Come with me," she said, tugging gently on his hand. Curious, Mr. Henry followed her as she led him through the village. They visited the fields where the farmer proudly showed the tools Mr. Henry had crafted, explaining how they had helped increase the harvest. At the stables, the stable master praised the sturdy horseshoes that allowed their horses to travel great distances safely. They passed the baker, who smiled and shared how the tools Mr. Henry had repaired for her oven allowed her to bake bread for the entire village. As they walked through the village square, more and more villagers came out to express their gratitude. A young mother explained how Mr. Henry had made a toy for her son, bringing joy to the little boy. An elderly man showed his cane, which Mr. Henry had mended, allowing him to walk more comfortably. The villagers gathered around Mr. Henry, each with their own story of how his work had touched their lives. At the center of the square, Lily stood beside him and said, "Mr. Henry, you might not travel far or create great inventions, but you've helped every single one of us in ways you can't even imagine." Moved by their words, Mr. Henry realized that his craft was far from ordinary. The tools he made were not just objects but symbols of the strength, care, and support he gave to his village. His work made life easier, safer, and more joyful for everyone around him. From that day forward, Mr. Henry embraced his role in the village with pride. Each hammer strike held new meaning, and he understood that even the simplest of tasks could have a profound impact. His story became a reminder that greatness is not always found in grand adventures or distant lands, but in the small, everyday acts that shape the lives of those around us. This is Animatic TV Stories. Thank you so much for watching. Stay blessed.